Damn, the fuck? Fuck is calling my celly right now? Yo, this Sesko, who this? What's the dilly?
This little pink button.
Oh, we live, Drew?
We live in that,
live, yeah. Oh, we been live.
Give it up when it's the easiest.
We live, baby.
Damn, Drew was all in our business.
Contaminate.
We live, baby.
There's a hole on top of it.
We are all contaminated.
Okay.
Drew cannot be
No
contaminated.
contamination. Don't
Drew has a
contaminate
family
my
to go
name.
back to. We don't have shit, but Drew has a family to go back
I
to.
got a couple negative tests to prove I ain't got shit.
Facts, me too. I done took this shit like twice.
Just in
One
case,
day I will
just in
take
case
the
niggas
test.
want to get technical.
You mean one day as you sit next to me?
He said one day I'll test it.
You're the one who came from like ground zero, so I ain't trying to hit
Niggas
shit.
ground zero. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely kicking us off right there.
I have been in the streets. I miss the streets.
I'm
Fuck
definitely
that.
kicking.
He outside though.
Okay. We
Damn, I
back
hate
on this
posters.
Chronicles wave. We starting a little late, but we here.
I'm sorry, that was my fault today.
We on live. Shout out to the listeners. Shout out if you're tuning in on
I'm not
live.
making you do shit.
Yeah, I'm definitely not fucking with the gin. Jazz just broke out the gin.
How you just have shit in your little bar in the crib? I'm never gonna make myself a casual drink with gin. Like,
I don't think there's anything casual about gin.
I was gonna say.
I don't.
I don't do shit. I can't. I don't got the chest for it.
First
No.
things first, shout out to Drew. Congratulations on a new addition to the family.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us back. I know
Drewski.
I know you don't got a mic, but you know we always shout you out. Always appreciate the love.
Right.
Welcome back to this Chronicles thing. Everybody that's been tuning in, that's been dealing with our commercials, we probably gonna have to shoot a commercial for this one, so bear with us. We just trying
I
to
like doing commercials.
I'm not gonna front. It did sound
You're
kind of
natural,
tough when I
fam.
played it
I
back.
mean, you
I was
know,
feeling it.
I'm not a communications major for nothing.
Okay then, my fault.
I'm gonna kick us
Okay.
off. I'm gonna kick us off with COVID updates. After I check in with y'all, Jazz, how you feel?
I'm good.
For those
We are not
that-
sponsored by Bombay.
For those
Fuck,
that
I
are
meant
just
to turn it
listening
around.
that can't see, she's lifting up the Bombay. This is not an ad either.
Nah,
Bombay, cut the check, man.
I'm about to start doing that too. Like, people be asking me, like, oh, what do you do for this? What do you do for that? And I just be like, oh, I do this, I do that. You know,
money?
because I'm not like I'm not one of those girls who's like, I don't remember. Like, nah, sis, this is where I got it from.
She trying to bartend and run a pod.
I'm a black woman. I do everything at the same time. But I
She's
do
an
everything.
entrepreneur.
I'm a black woman. I literally can do everything.
Let 'em
Here you
know.
go. Who's next?
That's sis.
Jeff, how you feel? That's pain. How you feel? My fault.
It's alright, man. Everybody know I'm
swing the
Jeff, but
leg.
I like this. That's pain a lot more. But I'm good, man. I'm chilling, dog. I'm out here. We outside.
Is Despain like your
Well, it's my last name spelt wrong, so
Right.
how about that?
I know that, obviously, or else I'd be a
And
trash
it's not
friend.
an alter ego. It's just me.
I was gonna say, like, you know how niggas be like Target and Tarjay? Is that the same?
Nah, well, the real origin behind that is that when I was venturing into the personal training world, I was looking into names, and one of them was I Trained This Pain.
Oh, that's cool. That was one of your names for a while.
There you go. So I just kept this pain. Cause
OG Twitter knows that.
I put it on Twitter, and everybody kept calling me that. Alright, you gonna leave that there.
Okay.
Fuck it.
If you had a Twitter in 09,
Alright,
you know
fuck
what
all
he's
that.
talking about. Sorry.
V, how are you feeling?
I'm good, man.
Alright,
I'm ready
thank
to.
you.
I'm ready to
'Cause
jump.
I
I'm ready
feel
to jump
so
in. I'm ready to jump into our shit.
You
Yeah,
look high as fuck.
Yo, I
I always look high as fuck.
I feel so bad. He always asks, and we never ask
I know.
back.
Are
We
we
don't
bad friends?
reciprocate,
Yo,
and I
check on it.
apologize.
That's why I have an episode called My Host. What is it? My Host Ain't Shit. Fuck My Host.
Is it
Either
because
way,
we
go
don't
look
check
it up.
on you?
Go look it up. I think it's called My Host Ain't Shit.
V, you
look
know
at
you're
this.
not a very warm person.
What does that have to do with the way y'all treat me?
Nothing. But I be thinking sometimes you want the distance.
Oh, I mean, I
No, he
always
definitely
want
Do
it.
you want us to like hug you now? I'll hug you.
No, he wants
Come
the
here.
distance.
No.
No, he
Come here,
definitely
we put
wants
my
the
drink
distance.
down.
He definitely
Come
wants the
here.
distance.
Mid-COVID, I don't want any hugs from niggas that are coming from Jersey and
Nigga, we're sitting here with one
it
another.
mixy with the business. It don't matter.
Wow.
Wow, man.
But when you okay,
fucked up.
I'll remember that at my
Just-
birthday party when
She
there's
said she's
strippers,
negative,
you can't
though.
touch them.
I'm not going nowhere near those strippers. Birthday or not. I'm trying to be rational about it. Like, it's clear niggas don't give a fuck about COVID.
First of
anymore,
all-
but I'm at least trying to be like somewhat responsible about it.
You can't put the strippers in a mask.
I don't want.
You could catch COVID through the coochie.
Wait, they dance with masks on?
Yeah, if you gonna.
Oh,
It
so
depends
all
on where you go.
the
I would-
ugly strippers are definitely glowing
It's
up
lit.
right
It
now.
depends.
It's
When
lit.
I was in Jersey,
Wow.
I went to a go-go club, and my section was outdoors.
Before you even get to
There was outdoor stripping?
It was like a
before
breezeway.
you even get to you in Jersey, tell the people how you don't give a fuck about COVID anymore. Tell them that first, and then tell them how you.
Yo,
it ain't even. I'm gonna give it a buck. It's not even that I don't give a fuck about COVID. It's close, but it ain't that 110%. What it is for me is, there's some things I don't. How do I word this? I could die any fucking minute. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This is a very radical way of thought. I don't expect everybody to think like this. But nigga, it could be a bus. It could be a brain aneurysm. It could be a fucking...
By the way, brain aneurysm is the number one thing she goes to.
All the time. Can I tell you why?
I called her. I'm like, Jazz, what are we doing? What are you talking about? She's like, a little something. This many people.
Niggas are talking shit like they wasn't down when I called them.
I'm still down, my nigga, because you're my nigga. That's one thing. I'm talking about a totally different thing.
Okay,
Let me get my shit off. So, because I'm going to still rock with you. I'm just letting the people know. I'm like, Jazz, what are we doing? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, fam, you can catch a brain aneurysm right in your living room. Like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm on the phone like, you're right. I'm with it. You're absolutely right.
The only reason why I go to the brain aneurysm thing is because I don't know if anybody watched that series on Netflix, The House on Haunting Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And remember the bent neck lady?
Yep.
And at the end of the series, her man had a fucking brain aneurysm, and then she started shifting through the floors. So I don't know. That nigga just got out the bed one morning and went and that just
I can
stuck
see how
with
the
me.
brain can connect that with yo, fuck this COVID shit.
Yeah,
man.
nigga, it could be anything. It could be, it could be anything.
To our listeners out there, try to remain responsible. We're still taking tests and making sure we're negative.
People are still
Yes.
testing positive and shit.
I'm still staying off the blunt with multiple people.
We're trying to figure out the balance.
She lied like a motherfucker.
We're trying to figure out the balance for y'all.
She lied like
come
a
back and give it
motherfucker
to
right
y'all,
there.
You feel me? So we're trying to figure
You
out.
lied like a motherfucker right there? Jess?
Who, me, huh?
Okay.
Lie like a rug.
She said me how like she's Japanese.
You're stupid. It's ni hao, and that's Mandarin. But I know what you meant.
Same shit, different person. Nigga.
Anyway, I'm not. Usually, and I hate to say this out loud, but you ever been out and really drunk and just, no, never mind. I'm not even going to do it.
And just what? Go ahead.
Do it.
I was going to say, sometimes you're in somebody's section, you're smoking a blunt.
Use your platform irresponsibly.
I've been in a club, smoked a blunt, and passed it to somebody and never gotten it back. And I'm cool with that. Not during COVID. I'm only smoking with the people I came with, but even that isn't necessarily the greatest of decisions. But yeah, that's a risk I've been taking.
I think
I'm being honest.
It immediately made me think of the last concert that I attended and how everyone in the section was smoking. And how we was smoking and passing weed and shit to total strangers.
Casually.
And when you think about shit like that
easily,
you understand that that's never gonna happen again.
And honestly, low-key, I'm glad, because niggas be holding the blunt mad long. I don't even know you like that. Give me my shit back.
COVID became a preventative measure.
True.
But before you pulled up, Drew and Des Payne was having a fucking interesting conversation telling me about some shit I didn't know about.
The payroll tax.
Yeah.
Oh, that they're holding it?
Yeah. Because now if you
tell the people what it is.
So basically, orange nigga, did the executive order on the payroll tax cut. You know what I mean? So basically, your check's gonna look a little fatter than usual, pretty much.
If you have a job or if you're unemployed.
I don't know about unemployed.
Probably both.
Okay. So this is payroll, so obviously employed people. Sorry, I wasn't thinking.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's. I can't speak for the unemployed. So salute to y'all though, cause y'all living life.
Salute if you're doing both. Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
That's all I have to say. That's all it really is. But if you've noticed your check is larger than usual,
look
then
a little
that's
bit
what it
better,
is.
and then what? What's the catch? I'm just getting more.
Oh, I mean,
They give it back,
you're gonna pay it back next year.
Oh, you're gonna pay
That's
it back.
simply
Yeah.
just what
That's
it is.
the key.
We're paying a lot of shit back next year.
So is it double? Is it the same amount? Are you
12.4 something like that.
as opposed to the 18% or 20 that it typically
This
looks
is
like?
added, so it's not like whatever it is. This is
Oh,
extra.
when it comes back, they're gonna add 12%.
I think that's what it is.
Oh,
I don't know
nah.
the percentages and none of that. I just
We're
know they trying to give out money.
elbowed in the eye
tax
with
and
that
all
shit in the tax season.
I
so.
personally round if I start a new job and I'm like, let me guesstimate what my check gonna be. I personally take out 20% from roughly 18 to 20% between taxes, your net other
Usually is, yeah.
dental shit like
15,
that.
20.
So an additional 12 on top of
This
that.
is Social Security. Whatever you're paying for Social Security is going up.
Ah,
But you're paying
By the time we get old, we
Social
not even
Security.
gonna have a motherfucking Social Security.
yeah,
But okay.
I've been trying to
Bingo.
flip my Social Security for a minute now. My 401k, I want all that shit. I need all that bread
I needs
now.
that, I needs
need
that.
that bread up front.
I need that.
I just feel like, again, another semi-radical thought, like, the idea that it's just so fucking lazy. Like, hey, I'm gonna work until I'm 40, and then I plan to live 40 more years not working. And I'm gonna hope that the people who are still working will supply my income.
Not gonna happen.
No fucking way.
You work until you're 75.
No, but this is the thing, is if, like, I posted something today that was like, the first key to generational wealth is to not blame your parents for the things they didn't know to teach you. Now
really?
Now we fucking know better. Because that was something I was mad at for a little while.
How do you know when they didn't know?
When you didn't know it and you realized you should have known better?
I feel like I've definitely caught my parents in a mix of knowing but being too lazy to try to articulate that, or just being caught up in their own shit.
You think so?
Yeah. No, I feel like
not to get too
agree.
heavy on my parents and shit like that. But if we're speaking from a pure objective and factual standpoint, I've definitely looked back on some decisions that both of them have made and been like, what the fuck was that, fam? That was an airball.
I mean, same. I feel like there's no way, as my dad likes to say when we call it his airballs, he'd be like, what do you want me to do? There's no manual to this shit. And I'd be dying. Like, nigga, what do you mean, what do I want you to do? You're the parent. But, like, you can't, like, we know now, right? Like, there were things I didn't, my parents, like, even now I'd say to my dad, yo, you just spent 10 bands on the lawn, fam. Are you stupid? You know what I mean? Like, you could have did A, B, C, D. So obviously they didn't know those things, and my generation and my siblings and us, we're in a position to know that. So it's like, you know what, fuck it, you didn't know no better, but I know since now that you can afford 10 bands on the lawn, let me holler at you about some shit. You know what I mean? So just like making those decisions. So when it comes to things like Social Security, for me, it's like I wouldn't expect to set up to have a job at 75. I would expect, or at least my goal right now at 29 is to make moves that when I'm 70 I can create. Is the word residual? Is that what I'm looking for? Like passive income, where like I don't have to physically exchange. I don't have to physically exchange my time for money. Whether that's property, whether that's businesses, whether I've, just whatever. I just don't feel like
something that's accumulated money.
Yeah, we don't
need your physical presence.
We don't talk about that as much as we talk about
getting up and working.
Social Security, like ain't no security,
man.
bitch. It's an illusion.
I mean, it's the conversations being made now. We're having these conversations now, even about stocks too. We're having these conversations, but we didn't grow up on knowing any of that shit. You don't go to school for that shit.
Right.
They don't tell you to go to school to own property. They tell you to go to school to have debt in your fucking under your name. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go to school.
But we got YouTube University. Ain't no reason for all these smart ass phone and these dumb ass kids.
Now we have YouTube University. The kids that are coming up have YouTube University.
But we
didn't have YouTube University.
But you know what I've caught adults doing, and I try not to be this adult to like the children in my area. Remember you used to ask, how do you spell something, and your mother be like, nigga, go look it up.
Absolutely.
Nobody tells kids to Google shit. You have a fucking search engine, bitch. I had to climb the closet to move through the shelf to figure out what version of encyclopedia to look at the fucking content, to find the word, to flip to the page. Bitch, you can type it in. Go Google it. Don't ask me shit.
That shit was fun.
How do you do? I don't know.
Speaking of shit that schools don't teach us, does anybody in this room know of the name Wyatt Walker? He's a man. Does anyone know who he is?
No.
You said White Walker?
Wyatt Walker.
Wyatt Walker. I'm sorry. Game of Thrones. I missed
I'll
it.
even give you a clue. Think civil rights movement. Let me know if you ever heard of him. Wyatt Walker. Civil rights.
I have not. I'm sorry. No, I haven't.
Don't be sorry, bro. So that name is a name that we don't learn about in school. Wyatt Walker is a pastor from Massachusetts. He was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s right-hand man, his number 2. He's the brains behind the civil rights movement. No one that you ask, I'd be shocked if you ask somebody and they know who this man was. I learned about him in a book, and I think what was so special about him is he had opposing beliefs from Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King was, as you famously know, very nonviolent. He didn't want to use physical action when they were doing stand-ins and protests and shit like that. Wyatt Walker was looking at Dr. Martin Luther King like, this nigga's crazy.
Did he have a relationship with Malcolm X as well?
Who?
Wyatt Walker, because that does sound familiar, but I don't know. I'm trying to connect the synapse in my brain. No.
As far as what I looked up of him, he was basically the planning brain behind the whole movement, and he kind of just let Dr. King lead. So of course they had some type of friendship and companionship, you know. But yeah, I definitely wanted. That was something that just popped up when she mentioned, or when you guys mentioned what schools don't teach us. I'm like, that's crazy. Massachusetts born pastor, was the brains behind the movement. Like literally planned everything with like right alongside Dr. Martin Luther King. It's very deliberate that he's not as famous. He deliberately was like very rarely seen in pictures with Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like it was a part of the strategy. But I think in the scope of things, learning about someone like him in a time like now, which I literally learned about him like 3 or 4 days ago, so he's been in the front of my brain and I've been bringing him up. He passed away 2 years ago, away in 2018, was from Brockton. And I actually learned about him in a book that I'm reading called David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell. Like the third book that I'm reading of his that I'm flying through. I'm probably going to pick up another one after that. Wyatt Walker. All you have to do is Google him and you can read what he was about. Pure genius. Definitely had a right hand in some of the freedoms that we have today. Shout out to Wyatt Walker.
I want to plug that as a moment to just say reading's really fucking important.
Very important.
For reasons like this. Sidebar, shout out to Keem for the Billionaire Book Club meeting that meets every Thursday at 7 to talk about things like this. But I had no clue, like you said, about that. And it makes you think, damn, do our parents know this? Like, if that,
No.
And
how far does the ignorance travel?
What's crazy about that is that's why I held on to his name so tight, because I looked around when I read about him and I learned about him. I looked around in the environment that I was in, and I'm surrounded by some really intelligent people. You never know what these people know. So I said, let me just put my hand out there and see how far it goes down the rabbit hole, and started asking people that know everything about everything and just seeing, and no one knew who he was. And I'm like, okay.
But
I see what I'm dealing with.
I was going to say, I feel like in every great movement or in every great anything, there's always like that yin and yang to it, right? Where like there's the person who's in front of the curtain and there's the person who's behind the curtain. Like there's no way that could have been a one, you know what I mean? There's some things are so big that there's no way that they could be a one-man show, and we never think past that because we just look at Martin Luther King. So that's interesting.
They go hand in hand. They had a lot of strategy moments together where they strategized, and like Wyatt Walker was the type that he was down to get physical at any moment. He just had the wherewithal to understand that he can't beat all of the racist crackers hand to hand, one on one. It didn't stop him from trying and getting jumped and everything else, but that's why he let Dr. King lead, because Dr. King had a way out that didn't involve fighting fisticuffs. And just a saner mind prevails. But if you get a chance to read about him, I think you should definitely read about him.
Do y'all ever think about what side you'd more have been with if you were alive at that time? Like, does that ever cross your mind?
Seeing that, and I think that's another reason why it stuck with me. That's another reason why I held on to his name so tight, is because I would have been like him. So when I read about him, I immediately text my best friend, because I text him about everything, and basically said, like, seeing that there were, for lack of a better term, niggas like that back in the day, just like there are now, it brought joy to my heart. Reading about him and like mobs outside of churches, and Dr. King being righteous and saying, we got to just give ourselves up to the mobs. That's the only way we're going to keep the women and the children safe. We got to just go and we just got to give ourselves up. And hearing about a Wyatt Walker saying, I looked at that nigga like he was crazy, and said, if these crackers want to get it popping, then we get it popping.
I'm with you.
I see what side, I see and I see how those worlds can collide, and how a bigger issue can be attacked and addressed. So it spoke to me, and I held on to it.
It's interesting.
That's the side that I would have been on. I'm always about the action, unless somebody can come up with a plan that sounds grander and sounds like it can bring a resolution. That's the only way that I would follow. If I don't see a way, but you see a way, and you can make it compelled to my logical side of my brain, then I'll allow you to lead. Like, I think that's a part of being a good leader, is knowing the moments when you can lead and knowing the moments when you can't. So I think a boss in his own right, like a Wyatt Walker, understood, like, Dr. King is gonna have to lead this one. It's the only way out. So that I can be comfortable with what happens in the future. I got a wife, I got kids. So it's not about me going out fighting fisticuffs and busting everybody's ass that I can. I gotta think about coming home to a wife, coming home to my kids. So let me think bigger picture. But he was also petty in a way that
Oh, there it is.
In a way that
Nephew.
he would call the police departments and basically give them anonymous tips about riots and stand-ins in random alleyways and send them around, like basically send them on a wild goose chase around the cities.
Oh, okay.
Like
okay,
the cops would hear that I think those niggers are down in such and such alleyway and send a whole task force and nobody's there while he's sitting back laughing. And that's why I identified myself with them.
Right,
because it's like, who better? Only us, the oppressed, can find a way to still flip the shit and like, look at you dumb motherfuckers. So
That is kind of funny.
that's the side that I would have been on, all with the shits.
What I was gonna say was it's crazy you mentioned that because there's an episode of the Boondocks, and I think it was the last season when Granddad was part of the he was in the bus.
Yes, with Rosa Parks. And he was mad because Rosa Parks was getting all the fame.
Right.
Yeah.
That too. And then he had another, I think it was in the same episode. There was the big dude, the big black dude. They got in like a bunch of fights and shit. And then the dude was just subduing the people. And he was trying to beat their ass. He was like, nah, brother, we have to do it like this. And he was like, you this crazy motherfucker. Like, he literally looked at this dude like, are you serious? And you're putting me at harm because we're doing this shit. But you don't want to hurt these people?
R.I.P. Pops, because like,
On dogs.
I gotta
R.I.P.
show
Pops.
my kids that, because that
R.I.P.
might
Pops.
never come back.
I really, no. Boondocks is definitely coming back on HBO
what
Max.
they gonna do with
It's
Pops?
coming on HBO Max. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but they're coming back.
They probably got
And it's
two
gonna-
seasons
it has to
of
be-
backlogged work.
Yeah, it's 2 seasons.
I wouldn't be surprised
I hope
if
so.
they,
seasons.
I just
It's
guessed
gonna be
that.
fire.
I wouldn't be surprised
It's
if they
gonna be
got 2
fire.
seasons of backlog work. Shout out to Pops. That brings me to another thought that I had that Jazz just said. I gotta make sure I gotta make sure I show my kids that. I think we need to be deliberate about what we introduce our kids to in terms of legends that have passed away and just whole existences that they would otherwise not know about if we don't bring it to their attention.
Yes.
I think you need to. I think we should make a list.
Like a time capsule.
Exactly, and I think we should be deliberate about that because there's a lot of lives and a lot of souls that your kids are gonna need to know about, and you just want to make sure that you don't miss anyone.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Even on like a superficial level, one of the babies in my life, her favorite thing is Friends. And I was just like, you know about living single? She was like, no. I was like, guess who we doing today?
You watching Living Single.
You know what I mean? Especially because it was like based off of Living Single. It wasn't like that didn't come first. Friends came after. But like even little cultural things like that, just little cultural references, being able to make those, or understanding those. And I think that shit's important. Like if you can't identify exactly where your family immigrated from, there are some things that have become in our black culture, and it's okay to pass down.
Right.
Be deliberate in teaching them about the culture. Be deliberate in showing them how it was, where it was birthed from, how it grew, what it manifested into, who had the courage to do what, who did things differently, who did things weird and odd. Like, I think I said it last episode, you can't strive to be something without seeing it.
But, okay, with that being said, nigga, we got phones. What I'm about to do, give my grandbaby my iPhone 11? Like, how do you pass down those memories?
How do you show it to them?
Well, how do you show it to them? But like,
How did your mom show it to you?
think about it. We're still the generation where we could go to our grandmother's house and open photo albums.
Yeah, but we're also the generation when we have 2 or 3 iPads laying around the crib.
Right.
Like, that's not an issue.
We build memories
True.
in multiple different ways.
I just never thought that.
And it's not only that; it's also archived. It's everywhere.
But like, think about that. Like, I can go be like, "Oh, grandma, what did you look like at 26?" and fold through her photo album. When my kids want to see what I looked like at 26, they gotta find one of my iPads and log into my iCloud and shit.
Nah. They're gonna find.
I thought you was gonna say log into my OnlyFans.
I'm
not gonna front.
No, can I say something?
Oh, Lord.
Should I ever not leave? Should I ever not be here and my OnlyFans still be present? I'm gonna give somebody my password to delete it.
I'm pretty certain your MySpace is still present somewhere too.
Which is okay, because I was the shit since the fucking 9th grade. It's nothing. I'm okay with that out there. But I do need somebody to delete my OnlyFans should I not be here to do so for myself.
This is all I'm
going to the Hall
saying.
of
Is if
Fame,
I
man.
get the password and there's still money flowing through that motherfucker, I'm
Take
not
it
sure
down.
Have that.
about when I'm gonna delete
Have-
it. Like if there's
So what you gonna do when people send message requests? You gonna just send them old dead pussy
I don't know.
photos?
I haven't thought that far yet. I'm just letting you know. If niggas is sending
We're
tips,
replacing you.
I don't know.
You
what
gotta
I'm
put
gonna do.
somebody else's pussy in place mine on my profile?
They replaced Paul Walker in Fast and the Furious. So goddamn, nigga. We'll do that in a heartbeat.
Just crop stitches Jazz's head on somebody else's.
We'll find a 5'3" shorty. 5'3", 130 out there.
No, I'm dead.
5'2", 135.
Oh, my
No,
bad.
Did Cardi ever announce how much her OnlyFans is gonna be to address rumors and shit like that?
I don't know, but I would just log on and log back off, nigga. You done already paid. Gotcha.
She's slick too.
That was fire.
She logged on once, right?
I don't know. All I saw was the announcement that she was gonna be charging to address rumors and shit like that.
Yeah, she said she's not putting no nudes, no nothing.
I don't want no more of this gin, do y'all?
I'm straight.
Hold that.
What about the Walt Disney shorty that fucking hustled everybody?
Yeah.
The Walt Disney shorty?
Who's fucking it up for everybody?
Yeah.
Yo!
What was her name?
There's a cap now. What was it?
It's not a cap. It's a
Bella Thorne. Thank you.
Bella Thorne?
I don't think it's a cap. I think it's a way that they do the payout. So before you used to be able to
They
just
changed
request
up the whole payout because of her.
you can request your payout you used to be able to request your payout at any point. But now you either have to choose to do it on a weekly or a monthly basis, or to do it manually because money now has to pend.
Okay.
It doesn't just scoot on over. Like now it has to literally process. Like the same way it does when you put a check in the bank, it has to process. So like so what I mean by that, if you've got already like $100, $200 in your OnlyFans that's available, but somebody's subscription renews on the 12th and somebody's renews on the 15th, but your shit rees up on the 13th, that 15 is going to still be in your pending balance. That's not going to be in your bank account when you transfer it. So it's a weight game, which is kind of chips, but I guess in my opinion, depending on how you run your shit, if you do it like you do a business and you have a quota, you can request a weekly or a monthly payout and honestly set yourself with goals. Like, I don't want to do a payout on a weekly basis less than $300, or I don't want to do a monthly payout less than whatever on this basis. Like, it allows you to kind of keep track. I feel like if you don't keep the reason on why you have OnlyFans in perspective, you just be doing shit to do shit. Like, to just be doing shit.
You know I'm the transition king. That was the OnlyFans intro to really lead us into what we really
to really get it going.
Hell yeah,
niggas.
So well I shouldn't be kicking this off. This is Jazz's shit. Jazz, you kick it off.
Oh, my phone's on the live. So me and Jeff was having a nice conversation today over Chick-fil-A.
I'm sure I've been involved in a conversation somewhere along the way, just not today.
No. You in it. You come up. I feel like we've had this conversation individually too.
Definitely.
As like children, as we've grown. But now, like me and Jeff were having it from like an adult perspective. And I really thought on my way over here, like how I was gonna introduce it. Because at first I wanted to just bring the smoke. But I felt like if it was a learning moment, you can't be condescending and teach. So I figured you can.
Okay.
But it's not.
You can do whatever the fuck you want on your platform.
Bingo. But I feel like it's not necessarily the most effective of when it comes to like applying methods and shit like that.
We're maturing as a podcast, fam. When do we start worrying about being effective?
We grown out here.
This is the shit I'm talking about, fam.
You grown.
Look at God. What's the meme? We should be like growth.
My fault for cutting you off.
It's okay. No. That was worthy. So I thought about bringing it literally from my perspective is growth. And one thing that I've been observing, one thing that I've been reading and learning a lot about is women, right? Which like sounds crazy because it's like you're a woman, sis. Why you gotta read about that? But for a little bit, I struggled to find like my femininity. I spent a lot of time with men. And
you started to think you was a nigga?
Nah, I never thought.
You tried to pee standing up? Tell us right now.
Never. I've always been a girl, but I've been a rough girl. Like what? I feel like every being has masculine and feminine energy, right?
Yeah.
Some have one more than another. If it matches your genitals, that's cool. If it don't, it don't. That's where like gender dysphoria, like all of that comes into play. But I felt like I am like with y'all, and I remember you joking about this when I like first got a boyfriend in like 10th grade when you were like, I've never heard this bitch talk like that. Like, she's so gentle. You know what I mean? So just having those different personalities. But I know that for a while I struggled as I grew into, like, womanhood to, like, really, like, jump into that femininity. Right? And so for me, it was a struggle because, like I said, I'm short, black, and I got a vagina. So people don't really listen to me often. Unless I get things done in a forceful manner. So that used to work for me. That's always how I presented things. And that's how I started to apply When I wanted something, that's the energy I applied to the things I wanted done, that I felt like I had to be abrasive, forward, kind of things like that.
Did it become an issue for you before you noticed that that was probably not the best way to be? Or
it wasn't an issue.
Self-aware enough to recognize it before anything happened?
It wasn't an issue until I started to shift stages of life. So in my 20s, that was cool, you know what I mean? Because you're getting to know yourself, you're checking your confidence, you're really mentally becoming aware of who you are. I spent a lot of time doing that in my 20s. So it wasn't a problem at that point, right? Ego and that kind of masculinity wasn't negative to me at that point, because it allowed me not to settle for sucker shit, you know what I mean? It allowed me to set certain boundaries. It allowed me to be ambitious. It allowed me to have certain goals. Yeah, it came with me telling niggas to suck my dick and talking with my hands, but it is what it is. I got things done, and I'm still fucking cute, so it really doesn't matter.
You alright, though.
Nigga, please. But as I started to shift kind of gears in my life, I noticed that I needed to be more comfortable with my femininity to be okay in other spaces, right? So I've pretty much learned from watching other women in my life kind of accept bare minimum treatment, and it frustrates me, it infuriates me, and I think to myself what makes somebody continuously, a woman specifically, because I'm a woman, continuously have that low self-esteem or that untapped energy with their femininity, and how does somebody grow to having that high self-esteem, having that tapped in energy with their femininity and their masculinity, you know what I mean, and being able to be here's the time when I turn up on you niggas, here's the time where I kind of be not even dial back, right? Because when you say masculine energy and feminine energy, it's masculine is a doing, feminine is being, not even in a you're supposed to be passive. I'm supposed to be. There are times when I feel my most beautiful when I'm just existing, right? And there are times in life where just existing didn't get shit done, and I had to be mannish. So that's that. But I hate to see shit when I think about women with low self-esteem and low confidence, and who aren't really tapped in that way and don't really realize that the egg don't chase the sperm, or what, you know what I mean? Just don't have that. And I think to myself, do men see that? And does it make them feel the way it makes me feel as a woman? Or do men see that and take advantage of that and be word, this bitch ain't got no self-esteem, I'm about to have her do da. Or do men feel bad for those type of women? You know what I mean? I feel I'm not gonna hold you. There's always this joke that me and my girls have: when you're mean to niggas, they act right.
I think I can't speak for all men. Speaking specifically for me, because I'm just an asshole in that way. When I see women that are like that, I just kind of wave it off and think of them as bozos. I kind of look at shit like that. It's not my job to teach you about your self-esteem, and I guess in the stage that I am in my life, it's not beneficial to me to be manipulative, because I've never really been a manipulative type of nigga. In the past,
I was about to ask.
me living present in the moment in the past, I didn't even know I didn't know then what I know now. Right. So I wasn't viewing women through that light of, oh, she has very low self-esteem and she doesn't really know her self-worth. I was just living in the moment and curious as to why this female cried more than the other female.
I'm gonna interrupt you on that
just
real
being
quick.
Young and dumb. Go ahead.
So you don't know at that age, at when you're young, you're oh, someone's high self-esteem or low self-esteem.
Well, let me
you test, and you're this bitch gonna let me get away
before
with that.
You even go there. I'll stick my neck out there and preface it with I'm a pretty bright individual, even when I was young. So I would be able to recognize when a female had low self-esteem. Have I had manipulative moments where it's oh, she has low self-esteem, so I can do X, Y, Z with her? Absolutely. I'll always fess up to my demons in that way. There's nothing about me that's regretful. I'll go into detail and say what I did, because I know the latitude.
You ain't gotta do it. I was there. I know.
I know the latitude.
I was there.
We was friends. I was there.
I know the latitude and the longitude.
Thank you, because I learned so much.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I learned so much.
What you do with your demons in your pastime, sometimes it can mold how other people view your integrity. So I say that to say, even though Jazz has seen me play with my demons in that time, how I handled them and how I came up out of them is how our integrity as a brother and sister stay intact.
I'm not asking this question to throw y'all under the bus before we get to Jeff.
No.
I'm asking it more so for women that have a tap into the male's perspective of it, right? Where like, and maybe maybe you guys are good guys and you don't do shit like that. But sometimes I get upset and I be like, the bar is on the floor, literally. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like, if it is, you won't be confused. If it ain't, you're going to be confused. And I would just love for women who may have some sort of confusion in a department to hear from men that that's the case.
Niggas are always going to treat you how you allow them to treat you.
Bingo.
I've definitely had multiple females in my life that I treated them that way because they didn't demand more. They didn't make it seem like they wanted more or needed more.
Or that they deserved more. And I feel like when you move like you deserve more, people have no choice but to fall in line or fall away.
And not only that, that's not something that I shove on those females and say because you didn't demand more, ask for more, or move like you feel like you deserve more, it's your fault. No. As a man or as a person who calls himself a man, it's your responsibility to lead and to lead responsibly. But at that time, in lack of leadership, because there is no stoppage, there is no blockage that says, nah, nigga, this is how you're gonna do me, then I was leading you astray. Simple as that.
So, being a woman who grew up, watching you, because you're a little older than me, spending a lot of time with men, being in certain spaces, I learned very early to be the bitch that says, nah, nigga, not today. You know what I mean? And I feel like to some people who don't know me, that comes off a certain way. And I used to feel a way about it. And I'm actually so fucking thankful for it now as a fucking 29, 30-year-old woman. Because at this age, we're all coming into like our womanhood and our manhood. And some people still haven't grasped how they want to be fucking treated. You get what I'm saying? Not even necessarily what you want.
You can't be outside if you don't know how you want. If you don't know how you want to be treated, you shouldn't be outside. You shouldn't come off the porch. There's too many wolves out here for that.
No, go back home.
You might as well stay in the house. So ladies, let that be a lesson learned.
Even in that lesson being learned, right? Like, I think the most important takeaway for me is like, all right, bitch, so I got low self-esteem. How I get high self-esteem, right? Don't just be up here talking to me. Tell me how I do it. And I guess for me, it was really like when I felt a way about shit, asking myself questions. Don't like when my ego gets to jumping, and I'm still working on this. So people are like, bitch, the other day you just turned up. Fuck you. I'm working on it.
The other day.
Anyway, in the moments where I don't turn up, I'm asking myself, ego, why this got you hot like that? What is making you, is it this or is it this? Let's really figure out what it is and keep asking yourself these questions. And then you can get to, is it internal or is it an external thing, right?
That's something that's special about you, and I think that is special in general. That if you're able to do that, kudos to you. Basically have the ability to self-reflect and process and have those two come at a crossroad.
Very small percentage of those type of people.
What Jazz is talking about is self-reflection and it's processing.
Very small
that shit kinda tough, I'm not gonna hold
She
you.
makes the two touch and she tries to polish herself and basically keep making herself better at the same time. Another lesson learned.
I still think that's a rarity.
Very rare
in our culture.
I think it's only a rarity because people don't spend enough time alone.
Right.
That's it. Yeah. I think when you're by yourself, you have no choice but to ask yourself some real tough ass questions. You get what I'm saying? So
the people that don't do that, the people that don't have self-reflecting and processing moments, and those moments never touch, they're pretty obvious. We talk about you guys in our group chats.
We talk about you guys. Damn.
I'm just saying.
What?
But essentially, I just want, like, I know that I'm the only woman on this podcast, and I think sometimes it's tough because I have a rougher perspective. I don't want to speak for like a gender in the same way you don't want to speak for all black people. Where like it's whatever the things that whatever make you happy, you have to do them. One. And like I think even before getting to like doing the things that make you happy, you have to like declare the things that fucking don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like this. I don't like this part about my life. I wish this could be this. I'm going to pull this shit apart because I hate it so much and reconstruct it in a way that I like it more. If that means putting your body together, giving yourself a new wardrobe, having like different affirmations, if you want to fucking charge crystals, whatever that takes, admitting that there's a problem, pulling it apart and reconstructing it and being like, nah, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm really like with the love of my life, but I still have to accept the fact that one day that could not be true, and I have to still be an individual without that nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing's mine. God could snatch it at any time, in any way. Nothing's mine, and he'll keep snatching shit from you until you're good with you.
Right.
So
But
that just tapped into my life a lot, and I wanted a man's perspective on that.
Big issue is, like, I feel like, you know, self-reflection, as I said, is a rarity, but we tend to want to find someone to blame every single fucking time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we all get into that habit sometimes, like, yo, it was that chick's fault for men.
Here's a clue as to if you're one of those types of people. If you always find someone else to blame, you're one of those people. You don't run out of people to blame. You religiously, you always got somebody to put that shit on.
Not only that, if it's consistently happening the same way,
if it's everybody,
you might be the problem.
If it's everybody,
you might be the problem. You just got broken up the same way 10 separate times. You are the fucking problem.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Do not point the finger at someone else. Point it back right at yourself. It's easy. I did it just now.
I was about to say, you stupid. I'm not gonna hold you. That's really like what catapulted my shit.
Right.
Is I was dating certain types of niggas and got to a different type and was still having the same issues. And one day I was like, bitch, it's you. You're like, you get what I'm saying? Where you be like, bitch, no, you psycho, it's you. This nigga don't even give it up like that. But here y'all are, outside, because you mad. Like, and then you have to really start
in the rain, like a fucking Usher video. And that's when you really realize, when you're outside in the rain, like a fucking Usher video.
You got it bad.
Not even, it was a Ray J One Wish. Like, just shit like that, when you're just like, yo, I might be a little tapped.
With no AC, windows fog. Like, why am I out here?
You know what it really
nigga, the window can't even go down, nigga.
I can't roll the windows down. The windows is fogged. This nigga got me out here in the rain.
Sometimes it's after a couple acts of vandalism or violence that you're just like, this is ridiculous.
This ain't it.
I need to grow up.
Some niggas disrespect is earned, but some people haven't earned that, and maybe it's me just being so used to giving disrespect that it's a buffet line now at this point. People ain't even earning it.
You get disrespect.
It's just present.
You get disrespect.
You get what I'm saying?
You get disrespect.
And it had to be something that I was like, shit, you know what I mean? Like, all right, bitch, roll it in. What's your problem? So it really involves you asking yourself a lot of tough questions, and don't say nobody else's fucking name but yours, like Jeff was saying. Like, being a victim also doesn't allow you to get through things. Like, if I do feel like somebody's wronged me or like something's happened, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not even mad. I'm upset because I accepted that. So you know what? I'm not accepting that shit no more.
Fact.
That like taking that type of ownership allows you to move in a certain way. And I know people, like men specifically, y'all like to joke that women don't take accountability or ownership. May partially be true, but women, I feel
that's it right there.
Okay, you're right. But like, I feel like
they partially be
true. That was it.
But I feel, damn, I lost my train of thought.
You said may partially be true, but you feel like
before that.
Accountability, bro.
Oh yeah, you just have to be able to like, damn, and now I gotta go back in the circle to just keep everyone else's name out your mouth and it be about you. Like, all right, if I tolerate this, that's why it's gonna keep happening. I can't be mad that this motherfucker won't change. Bitch, you keep opening the door. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to
toxic shit.
Start with self, and that's how you transcend. And I try to say that not using words like divine and vibrate and low and high, like, because sometimes like, I mean, even though it's all the same shit, sometimes things just have to be said to you in a way that doesn't seem cliche.
Divine and vibrate sound like captions to an OnlyFans video.
I'm about to hashtag them shits.
Oh, those are hashtags for sure.
Hashtag divine, hashtag vibrate.
That's I bought a vibrator the other day named the threesome. I thought that was clever. Yeah, it was chips though.
My nigga, at the end of the last episode, Jazz said some wild shit.
I always say wild shit.
I don't know what's wilder than saying your grandmother got the wop, but I mean,
I'm about to tell you why that's. First of all, I got my family in the building.
Yo, Drew's like, wait a minute.
I want to get at the reason why I said that, and my family.
Fam, we got in the porn category.
Here we go.
You type in. Got way wilder than her grandmother.
I just want to say this on behalf of my grandmother in case this ever gets back to her, because I got family in the building. Niggas do have a lineage of bad bitches. I'm not making that up. There's not some badass bitches in the lineage. Give him a head nod if it's yes. See? I'm not making it up. Niggas not this.
I don't know why you looking at me. It was him doubting it. I've seen.
I didn't doubt shit.
My grandma fine.
I just said you.
I've seen your grandmother in real life.
I just said that's the wildest shit beyond
You should
that.
see her grandmother. Her grandmother, the fine sister.
She said
My grandma, but her grandma, the fine sister. But yeah, we tapped into porn categories, and V likes fat white girls.
You see this shit? You see this? You see that toxic shit?
Because I didn't get to you yet.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Are you serious?
I'm not even gonna.
What was it? Pog?
Yo, my nigga said that.
It's fat with a PH.
Fat white
Drew,
girls.
I'm not even gonna go like tit for tat with her because her shit is wild.
All mine was
That was the worst paraphrase.
lesbian.
That was the worst paraphrase I ever
Everybody
heard.
types that in.
Everybody
Clearly did not say that.
Bro, what's in the still don't need to be said. You feel me?
Oh no,
I'm leaving that there. I'm not. I've been doing
If
this
you're
too
a fat
long.
white
with
girl
Jazz.
and you pay phone
I've been
bills,
doing this too
hit up
long
my
with
bro.
Jazz. I've been doing this too long. With
You
Jazz.
his type.
I've been doing this too long.
Tap
with Jazz.
in.
my nigga
She tried to say the lesbian porn shit was all she said. Listeners,
Oh,
What else did I say?
y'all know what's up.
What did I say at the end of the episode? I slid in a DP comment. What did I say?
Wait, nah, go into the DP.
That was it. That was the comment. That was it.
What was it?
That's also a search. So I'm asking you, what was the last
What
statement?
was the search?
Black DP.
What is that, baby?
Double penetration. It's two dicks at once.
No. That wasn't the wild shit. The
Oh, then
wild
what was
shit.
it?
The wild shit
That's
the wild shit was the cream pie.
Oh, I did say that.
That was crazy.
Who's in this
babe.
live
Well,
right
you said
now?
you-
Yeah, shout out to the people in the live right now.
She really said that.
I'm not giving it up.
What
I'm
I
not
said
giving it up.
was-
I'm not
Must
giving it
have
up.
been drunk then.
There's an Eat My Pie compilation somewhere in the
Yo.
internet.
I said, what the fuck
Alright,
is my
man.
pie?
And then you ain't look
That
for it.
happened?
No,
And
I
you ain't
didn't. I didn't look for it. You
Well, I'm not
told
gonna
me what
say
it
nothing.
was.
Just go type it into your search
That
bar.
happened?
What do you mean that happened?
Yo, listeners, go type that
You
shit
was
in.
lit by then.
Eat my.
Your drink was
Go
strong.
type
I made
that
your shit.
in.
Yo.
And like that?
You just gotta end it on that?
Yup.
Yo, that's too funny,
Yup.
man. Are you
Yo, shout out
serious?
to the listeners on the live. Shout out to y'all if y'all tuned in. Shout out to all the listeners that's tuned
I
in.
meant
that's
oatmeal
harassing
pies.
us.
Oh,
Facts.
That's
She meant
all
apple
kinky
pies.
too.
Shout out to Cactus
Nah, I
Jack
said what I
with
said.
Shout out to Cactus Jack with the McDonald's collab too. Trav got the
Nah,
McDonald's.
fuck that
collab.
shit.
No,
I
fuck
paid
that shit.
$68 for that
Why?
shit.
First of all,
Why I hate
it's
on the
also
Travis
fuck
Scott?
that shit.
$68 for a
Because fuck
shirt.
McDonald's, nigga. All that fucking trash ass food in the inner city community. Bitch, you couldn't do it. Be good.
Fuck no. Come on, fam. The Travis Scott Be Good. Get the fuck out of here.
You can
Travis
make
Scott
whatever
Be Good.
cool. Nigga, he could have made, here's a salad. Eat a salad. It's cool, kids. But no. Niggas be like, take this small fry. Fuck out of here.
Money.
Yeah.
And heart disease.
Definitely, it definitely was
And
a-
fucking
was a
high
good
cholesterol.
opportunity.
You get more money
And
from
diabetes.
It's lit.
Just like that.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's lit.
Wow, does it do that?
I don't fucking know.
They should.
I would never support it.
Pay
The
this
fuck?
nigga.
I'm moving on to shoutouts, man. What we got?
Shout out.
You start. You be ready.
I just shouted out the listeners. Shout out to you if you in this
You
live
always
right
shout
now.
out the goddamn listeners.
Right,
Shout out
that's
something
the
else.
all that
default.
matters. That's all
Shout out
that matters
something
at the
else.
end of the day. That's
Shout
all
out
that
something
matters.
else.
I would like to
Shout
shout
out
out the Eat My Pie compilation. If you haven't typed that into your porn search bar,
They're gonna
give
be.
it a shot.
They're gonna be sitting there like, oh my.
Nah, I do
Wow.
got a shout out. Please, women, in addition to my fucking...
Why'd you just do the Vibes Cartel gun
I was gonna
shot?
say,
I don't know. I felt that.
It
It was legit. So, in addition to that, like confidence and communicating your needs, I want to shout out the women who are like,
Date better.
yes, yes. But
We're ending this, but we didn't finish.
also
Date
like,
better.
it's okay to be sexually comfortable. Watch the Eat
That
My
too.
Pie compilation, sis. The fuck gonna happen? Vibrate your box. Live your best fuck
Enjoy the
life.
dildo.
Can't nobody knock your sonic rings out your box if you don't know how to knock the sonic rings out your box.
It'll save you a body.
Bring.
I'm not hating on the Eat My Pie shit, but just think about that shit for a second.
That shit's
That's
flames.
crazy.
Oh, and there's
Crazy.
2 females in that, right?
Yeah, you. Damn, you gonna make me
No
explain
cap,
it?
no cap. That's actually fire.
That's-
If
That's
somebody
crazy.
cream pies it, that shit
I ain't gonna lie,
flames.
no cap. That's fire.
See, y'all talked all that shit. Now everybody's about to go
I
home.
wasn't
and
talking
fuck.
about shit. I was like, I was kind of shocked you said it. That's
Let me
all I
tap my
said.
private browser.
That's all I said. The hostess cream pie eating.
I don't think it's that common, but I think it will be after this.
What? Eat my pie?
Yeah, the Niggas is typing it in right now. Shout out to
they
shout out to y'all if y'all in the live backing out like eat my spot. What is Jazz talking about?
What?
Shout out to y'all.
Or you might have to type in cream pie eating compilation, some shit like that.
What is with you in compilations? You like them long shit.
No.
My attention span is short. We gotta keep it quick. We gotta.
I said I
Get
like
me right to the good part.
I like them.
You do like.
I need options.
We did agree on that.
You know what I mean?
We did agree on that.
But shout outs, yeah. Shout out to everybody who subscribed to the YouTube. Y'all are ill. Continue to subscribe, follow, like, send it to all your friends. We got 2 episodes on the YouTube. This will be on the YouTube as well.
Will be the 3rd.
We appreciate you. Alright? Shout out to you, and you.
Did you just point in the audience?
All of them.
He's practicing for the live.
Whoever in there.
Gifts. Donations. Donations.
I fucking hate it here.
We lit, baby.
And like that.
We go.
Damn, man.
Don't turn the
It's
light
a
on.
wrap, baby.
I want to see the comments.
Bow.
My ass is sweating on the couch.
My compilation is wild.
Did you
Bro,
type
I
it in?
did not know she said that.